Hello, everybody. My name is Tucker, and welcome back to our Russian Fishing for Spin Fishing character. Today, we are back out on Sura, seeing what we can get, starting off with a nice 1.287 kilo hide. So we're in a very similar spot to where we were yesterday, or the last time on this character, 7215, right over the 7 meter hole. I'm actually casting a little off to the side of it, and we're going to see what we can get. The only change is I did speed up to a 50 retrieval speed from the last time. So we'll see what we can do today. Last time was a very good day here, especially with the trophy. Uh, what did we get? Trophy Volga Xander. Hoping for a trophy Xander today. Probably could go with a bigger hook for that, but I didn't have one. So we're continuing with, I believe I've got a size 1 hook on here. Yeah. I actually want to look. I might have a bigger hook. But we'll see what we can get today. See if we can get another trophy. It was another warm day, over 90-degree day to start October off. So, a little bit worn out. Four-legged thing's very worn out today. 2 good WALKs, and I had to leave him home alone for a bit to go to the grocery store, and he is not a fan of that. So he is snoring peacefully on the couch next to me. There is a football game going on that my hometown's a part of, so if there are any fireworks, I apologize. We'll see. I looked at the score before we got started here, and home team's doing very well. So hopefully folks don't feel the need to shoot fireworks off for every score. But I'm used to it if they do. Dog, on the other hand, is not a fan of it. So played a little bit by ear. I meant to look and see if I had a bigger hook and forgot to on that cast. I'll have to do that when I reel in here. One turn, count to 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's keeping jig step up. Got a whole bunch of emails, and that's usually not a good sign on a Sunday night. No, I know what they are. It's actually an okay thing. I just saw my unread emails go up 7 in a 5-minute period. That's usually not a good sign on a Sunday night. But we're coming up on the holiday season, and someone was adding all those to the calendar. 567 gram Volgazander there. Come on, fish. Come on, fishy fish. Give me another good fish. Just looked over at the dog. He's laying on his side, but he has his paws crossed. The paw that's on the bottom is kind of curled up and on top of the outer leg for his front paws. Looks like another Volgazander, 336 grams. Again, forgot to check hooks. And I have to do that this time. Gotta keep telling myself check hooks so that I don't forget at the end of this cast. Spun a little too early there. Another fish on. Another Volgazander, hopefully. Based on the size. 419 gram Volgazander. Do I have a bigger hook? I do have a 2-aught hook. I'm going to try 2-aught hook still with the black foam rubber fish. Trying and not enhance. I don't know what word I was trying to say. Entice. There's the word I was looking for. Entice bigger fish. Another reasonable fish. Probably another Volgazander. $893. I am standing up in the boat, so if the perspective looks a little bit different than usual, that's why. Looks like someone else is here too. Another fish on, another smaller one. This one might not be a marker. Nope, 180 grams small Volgazander there. But it is pretty much every cast, and that's about all I can hope for is a fish on every cast. Come on, fish. Come on, fishy fish. Come on, fish. Come on, fishy fish. Full decks. Full 4K Kodak. I don't know how to say that name. COL4AK. Has a couple of nice Volgazanders there. One of those I don't even know what it was trying to be. This is a nice fish. This is a Volgazander. We might be flirting with another trophy. If it's a Xander, it's just a decent fish. It's a Xander. 1.5 kilo Xander. fish. And a half minutes in, we got 7 fish. One of them's a non-marker. Only had one cast where we didn't get a fish, so I can't complain too much. Maybe 2 casts. Either way. Can't complain about that at all. Come on, fish. Wow, real muscle memory there. Jig step dropped, and I started pressing R to see if there was a fish on. That hasn't been a thing for a few months now. 306 gram Volgazander. That used to be a way. So pressing R tells you your retrieval speed. That used to be a way it would kind of blong at you if there's a fish on, because it would say the rotation speed is now automatic. And that was a kind of cheap way to know you had a fish on the line. And usually when jig step dropped, there was a good chance you had a fish on the line. So when I saw jig step drop, I instinctively press R. And I don't know what type of fish this is. This is a Xander. It's a decent one. This is a Volga Xander. It's a trophy. I think it's just a Xander or something like that. Small catfish. Nice 2 kilo Xander. Almost 2,000 XP for that one fish. Excuse me. I think I got to the mute button in time there, but had a bit of a cough sneak up on me. My nose is running down my throat with the changing weather. I think some of the pollens came back. I know a lot of people were cutting their grass, and they're in my neighborhood again. I didn't think they were going to have to, and I am allergic to grass, so I think that's playing into it. Now I got the hiccups because I was trying to hold that cough back. Another decent fish, it looks like. That's a Volgazander. Nope, that's a Xander. 2.138. Another nice fish. Ooh. Cole 4AK with a nice 5 kilo Xander. They're here. Come on, big old fish. That's not. Let go. I was about to say that's not a big old fish, but it didn't even stay on. Definitely screwed up my retrieval too there, though. There we go. Back to jig step. Come on, fish. I need to look and see if I have any points to spend. I haven't thought about that for a while. I don't think I do, but probably worth a check. Tiny, tiny chub. I have no available points. I have nothing in drops. Yeah, nothing in drop rigging, so no bonuses there. Pass back out and try again. Come on, fish. It is Sunday evening. That's why chat's not full of weekly records. They don't announce weekly records on Sunday just to not spam chat and overload the system. For some reason, whatever they use for chat is oftentimes a major contributor to lag in the game. A lot of times around the Christmas holidays, they do a special event at Mosquito, and they almost always have to turn chat off because the entire game is lagging. And they usually just turn chat off at Mosquito or chat or announcing fish or both. This is a decent fish. Another 2 kilos Xander. Yep, 2.4. Come on, big old fish. I am wanting Xander over Volga Xander, so that's part of why I'm using the bigger hook. That's a small fish. Maybe a marker Volga Xander, but I doubt it. Eh, 352. I'll take it. That was a chat-worthy fish? Wow. Did not expect that to be the case. Another smaller fish. Another, ooh, not quite marker Volga Xander. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. There we go. Another bigger fish. I was about to say, this is usually when we get a Xander, we're going to get one. And another 1.5 to 2 kilos, 2.149. Let's fish 15 on the day. Long way from any sort of a milestone. Wake up for a second, stretch, let out a dog snort, and go back to sleep. Sometimes I wish I had the life of a dog. Come on, fishy fish. Another small fish, probably not a marker. It was 390 gram marker Volga Xander. Come on, fish. It's a little after noon in game. A little after 8:30 in real life for me. We'll be wrapping this episode up like we usually do around 9 o'clock at night. This is either a Xander or a Trophy Volga, or near Trophy Volga. Normal Xander, 2.239. Nice fish. Nice fish indeed. Come on, fish. That was my fault. Here's jig step back. Come on, fishy fish. Either a small Xander or a marker Volga Xander. Or a marker pike. Didn't expect that, but not going to complain. Still need to decide what's next for this character. Do I aim for bigger rods? Do I aim for ultralight rod? Do I stay spinning, or do I go bait caster, which is still kind of spin fishing style? If you've got any thoughts, let me know in the comments below. I'm leaning towards staying with spinning rods, or maybe getting a ultralight bait caster. I have to do some research. I've never really gotten into bait casting on my Steam account. Honestly, HSVs are as high as I've gotten on my Steam account. For some reason, either they didn't exist when I first started playing, or I ignored them for some reason. So I've got 3 HSVs on my Steam account. I haven't played my Steam account in a long time, just haven't had the time. 4-letter W word picked up. Actually, I think tomorrow, or when this video goes live, will be 1 year from my first videos. But so it's probably almost 1 year exactly to when I was recording the first videos. And the start of this year, my role at work changed pretty significantly. So I ran out of time. Used to have a lot more free time during the day. And I'm not complaining about that. The amount of free time I had was a little bit scary as far as long-term potential with the economic downturn and all that. My former boss is no longer with the company because of that too. And I've been at the company I work for. Granted, we just got bought out, but I've been with the company now 18 years, so it's been a while. What do we have here? Small Gazander. Sink a little bit more. Game got a little closer than I wanted it to. Coming up on halftime. Come on, fish. And usually when things are closer, when people get more excited and are more likely to blow stuff up. Come on, fish. Come on, Xander, right now. Not exactly. And it's not a Xander. If it is, it's a horrible Xander. But it's a decent marker roll, Xander, 459. I don't know if Cole 4AK is just not catching fish or if they left. Yeah, small fish, probably. This one's going to be close to a non-marker. Cole Xander's my guess. And I was right. Let it sink down there. Do one spin to set it. Another spin, wait 2 seconds. Another spin, wait 2 seconds. There's jig step. Another probably close to non-marker. This one I think is a little bit bigger. 292. Last one was 236. I was right. A little bit bigger, but not big enough. Fully upside down dog now. Am I that boring, buddy? I think he's actually out. Hearing the snores. This is either a decent marker Volga or a small Xander. And I was right. It was a small Xander. I honestly didn't look at the cafe or the weather for that matter before I got started today. I did have to use a new boat ticket, so I had a 2-day boat ticket in my inventory. So I did burn that. Right now, I do not have an emergency boat ticket, so if we hook something massive, things might get interesting. And there are sturgeons and catfish that could make things interesting. Some of y'all might remember an episode a little bit ago where I got a non-chat worthy sturgeon, and it took me 13 minutes to reel it in. 905-gram Bulgazander. Not bad. Dog snores are great. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. This is a decent Xander, probably. What we get? 2.974. I think that's the biggest Xander I've gotten yet today. It was. Is it actually the biggest overall? I don't think that's the case. Now we got a 6 kilo, almost 6 kilo one before. The upside down happy dog snores got me laughing. Good, they're not opening the gate on the mic, though. Uh, Decent Volga, maybe? 757. Nice. Boeing Volga. 35 minutes in, we got 26 fish. Pretty happy with today so far, even if we haven't gotten a trophy. Today still has a good chance of being a very good silver day. And a pretty reasonable XP day, to be honest. Most of these fish are averaging 1,000 experience points per fish, so we're probably over 20,000 XP already. I didn't look where we started. Doesn't really matter either. We got a ways to go before we level up. We got 1,000,000 XP almost we need. Come on, big fish. C0 4AK still around with a nice 3 kilo hide. Another probably reasonable Volga or tiny Xander, one of the two. Wow, I did not expect that to be a 1 kilo Volga. Is that the biggest one we've gotten today there? Yep. Not going to complain. I'm happy. I'm getting more and more comfy and falling further and further asleep. Decent Xander here, hopefully. Come on, fish. Is that a Volga? Is that a Xander or is that a pike? That's a big old pike. 5 kilo pike. Nice fish. Didn't look right when it came out of the water. At least to be a Xander. Come on, fish. Another decent Volga Xander, but not amazing. Probably 500 to 700 grams. And it was a small Xander. Not even a marker. Got about 20 minutes left. We do have 29 fish, so on track for probably between 40 and 45 fish. We'll see if that continues through the night, though. Sometimes I wonder who snores more, me or the dog. And he's snored ever since I got him. I got him when he was almost a year old. I got him in March, and he turned a year in June. A year and a half ago now. And on the way home from the shelter, he snored the whole way home in the back of the truck, back seat of the truck. Not the bed. Nice 2 kilo Xander. That's when I knew he kind of trusted me right off the bat. Either that or he was just very, very happy to be out of the shelter and out of being cooped up, both of which are very possible. He's a Catahoula leopard dog, a little bit of a rare breed. He's the state dog of Louisiana. It was bred by the French and Native Americans to hunt boars in the bayous. Web paws, things like that, good in the water. If you know a blue heeler, he's about a 80-pound blue heeler, is the way I describe him. Kind of that black and gray merle. And then he does have what is really known for in his breed of a cracked glass eye. So one of his eyes is amber on top and blue on the bottom. And he's 80 to 85 pounds of muscle. I'm not a small guy. I'm over 250 pounds, and he can pull me over if he wants to. 611 grams Xander's small one. Actually just dropped below 260 pounds for the first time in many, many years. Or actually, I don't know when I dropped below, but I got on a scale this weekend and was below 260 for the first time. And the dog has definitely helped with that, taking him on twice daily WALKs. I'm down. I was just shy of 300 for the highest I've seen, and down below 260, so I'm down 40 pounds. Not really trying to be either. I'm not doing anything different other than going for long WALKs with the dog. Another small Xander. Sounds like a couple of motorcycles are racing out on the interstate highway. They might not even be on the interstate. They might be on the city thoroughfare. It's got some good hills on it, and folks like to race it. Which is not the smartest thing to do because not too far away is the City Police Academy. They like to patrol it, and they do a lot of training on the major city street by my house because there's also a school on it. Still laugh. There's a big city park not too far from the police academy too. One time I was driving home at 3 in the morning and driving through there, and they thought they closed one of the roads for some tactical team training. They hadn't, and all of a sudden I've got a tactical team surrounding my vehicle, fully armed and everything. One of those just reach up, turn on the light in my did I have the truck then? Yeah, I did have the truck. Turned the light on in my truck, and one of the instructors came out of the bushes and went, "I'm sorry, I thought we had this road closed." And I told him there were no cones or anything like that. And they immediately called off training until they could get everything closed off. They never asked me if I was carrying or not, and I do have a concealed permit. And I did have a firearm on me at that time, too. They never asked, so they didn't have to know. If they asked, I would have had to tell them. Here's a nice sander. 5 kilo, 4.25. Was in Quick Trip one time, local gas station. Pretty well around the nation now. I think most people know what a Quick Trip is. But gas station, it's got kind of a good kitchen in it as well too. They'll cook some food and roller food, things like that. Big fountain drinks, things like that. And was filling up a drink, and someone backed into me accidentally. We were both trying to get out of the way of someone else, and kind of just backed into each other and bounced off each other. And I turn around, and it's a police officer, and he had run right into where I had the concealed firearm on me. And he was trying to figure out what he had hit. And I looked at him, and the question I asked him was, "Are you asking as a civilian, or are you asking as a law enforcement officer?" And that told him what he needed to know, that yes, I did have a firearm on me. Nice pike there, 1.405. Because if he asks as a civilian, I don't have to answer the question. If he asks as a law enforcement officer, I do have to answer it. And by answering it that way, we were surrounded by people. And by answering it that way, I didn't have to say anything that might scare other people. And he had no clue until that had happened, which is what it's supposed to be with a concealed firearm. I also, back when we were going into the office all the time, there's actually 4 buildings ago for me now. There was a big camp that had to get broken up, and they brought the police dogs out, and one of the police dogs ran off, and they told all of us, they actually told us to stay in the office for an hour after we were all supposed to go home while they tried to find and corral the dog. They never could find it. And I opened the door, and there's a police dog right there, and he was still on the attack command. And most of the police dogs are taught, like, their command is not in English, so that someone can't just yell the right command. So I'm standing at the door, and to get back in, I have to scan my badge right over the dog's head, so I can't do that. I put my foot next to the door because there's other people coming out, and I don't want the dog to get in and get them, while I call 911 on the speakerphone and tell them where I am, that I've got the dog right out in front of me. I'm just not moving at all. The police dog handler was still in the area and came flying over as quickly as he could and yelling the command to release and relax. People that were trying to come out had no idea that the dog was out there. They kept pushing against the door, and then finally realized they could finally hear through the door what was going on, and that I was talking to the dispatchers. So I buddy of mine's dad, when I was growing up, was kind of chief of police too, and I dated a cop's daughter in high school, so me and the police get along well. When I was in college, a couple of friends of mine were going through the police academy as well too, and when they got to how to spot a drunk driver, got to have a little bit of fun. They took me out to the local racetrack, which had a big concrete pad on it, and they put a kind of a road course out there, cones for you to drive on, and they had one of those. It was a vehicle that actually had two steering wheels, and there was a button that the passenger seat driver could press to take full control. Two steering wheels, two gas pedals, two brake pedals, and they could switch between which side worked and which side didn't. And they brought seven of us out there and put drinks in front of us. They gave me a bottle of whiskey and said, enjoy. And in an hour, I finished off about 3/4 of the bottle of whiskey. So I've never been a small kid. So I was still pretty. I mean, you go through probably 500 milliliters of alcohol in a hour, you're gonna be feeling pretty good. And none of the rookies wanted to pull me over, and I got to see, and I blew a .14. At the time, it was actually switching from .08 to .1, or .1 down to .08 time for your blood alcohol level. And none of the rookies wanted to pull me over, and the lieutenant couldn't believe it, that with what I was blowing, that he wasn't watching them directly, but just based on what I blew before and after, he couldn't believe that I wouldn't get pulled over. And the driver, or the passenger in the car, was your typical 20-year vet of the police force, an old Irish guy. And the lieutenant wants me to go back out there so that he can get his eyes on to see why, or what signs that I show that the rookies missed. And I start walking out in the car, and I get in the car, and the old Irish guy doesn't even follow me at all. And the lieutenant's like, I forgot the Irish guy's name, but Sergeant blah blah blah. Why aren't you following him out there? Ah, laddie, he's fine. He doesn't need me in the vehicle. Just got me laughing. And so they put a drunk guy in the vehicle with no one else behind it, and lieutenant, who's been there for years and years and years and years too, couldn't pull me over for anything he saw. I actually got to see me. They recorded it, and I got to see me driving, and it was perfect. Didn't hit a cone, stayed in my lanes, stopped at the stop signs perfectly and everything. Was straight as an arrow. Couldn't believe it, and got away with it. And then they put me in the back of a police car to take me home because I was drunk. Obviously, I couldn't drive. They picked me up and were going to bring me back. And I finished the bottle of whiskey in the back of the police car on the way home. Left an empty bottle of whiskey in the back of a police car. Also got tased. Got paid $200 to get tased by the cops as well too, and got to tase my buddies. So I don't understand how anyone can stand up after getting tased. I couldn't stand up. I was still a smartass, but I couldn't stand up. Got shocked a couple times for it. Lieutenant got even for me not being too drunk to drive. Come on, fish. We got about 5 minutes left here. I don't think we're going to hit 50 fish. Or 40 fish. Math is hard. We got one last cast. Are we going to get 35 fish? Come on, fish. Would love to get 35 fish today. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. Either way, this is the last cast of the day. Whether I get fish number 35 or not. And right now it feels like not. Yep, no fish. Not horrible. I'm not complaining. It's still going to be a pretty good day. I'm going to say 225 silver. Depending on cafe. Cafe could bump it up a little bit. Let's see if I'm right. I'm wrong. 300 silver without the cafe. Almost a 10 silver a fish average. And we are going to get things better because we're going to get 300-gram Volgazanders for 81. And this I need to check the eye. I doubt it's 18 silver. It is not. It is 8. So there's 81 and 18. So that's basically 82 and 18 when you combine the two of them. So 82, 18, 92. It's 100 silver right there from the cafe. And we still have 275 silver. So that was a 375 silver day, over 10 silver a fish average when you include the cafe. So very good day. So hope you all enjoyed. We'll be back again tomorrow over on the float character, and we'll see you then. Bye bye now.